Hey Spuddies, Potato McWhiskey here, and welcome to Railgrade. This is a very interesting railway construction game, and I thought we would record it. I've played a little bit, and I've had a little bit of fun playing it, so I kind of want to show it off. Let's go ahead and do the Region 3 bonus level power supply and demand. Righty-o, so apparently we need to deliver 256 energy to the city. Now, there's a few interesting things we need to talk about in this game. Time will not start until we place a train, and cities demand a variety of goods. For example, this city will demand water and energy, but our mission is to deliver energy. We are in the initial setup phase. Salvaging refunds 100%, and timers are stopped. I believe it ends when we build a rail line, connect two stations, and then purchase a train. That is how it ends. If I hold right click here, you can see the variety of resources that are on the map. We've got oil patches over here. We've got our accountancy here. This will keep track of our, percentage running, percentage catalyzed, all that sort of stuff. We've also got the voucher exchange where we can get new stuff. There's a steam vent over here. I believe we can build a geothermal power plant on the steam vent. It's quite expensive, but the geothermal does produce energy on a consistent basis. Or we could build an oil power plant and turn oil into energy. There's also water springs over here. We will need to feed water into the city. And we've got the bank where we can actually deposit money and earn interest or borrow money and earn not interest. So I think the best thing for us to do right here is to start kind of mapping out what we're going to be doing this game. Now we do have a geothermal over here, and we could do some interesting things with the geothermal. So we need to get water directly to the city. Water has to get to the city, and I think I know how I'm going to do this. So I'm going to start with a single water pump, and we can place a water pump over every single one of these things. So I'm going to place this one right here, and I'm going to get started with some track. Now I'm going to build the track out like this, but I am actually going to raise it up. This way the train doesn't have to go up and down as much when it comes over here. Now that is a little bit more expensive in terms of money, but I'm okay with that. And then this is going to be the line that feeds the water. This is the water line. Now, of course, it is tempting here to make a loop. And I do like the idea of setting up a loop because we're gonna have a serious amount of water pumping through here. And so I think creating a loop might be the way to go. Let's go ahead and actually modify this. Remember, salvage is maximum. I'm thinking for now, we'll go with a single station here and a single station here, just while we set things up. And then we want you to go down, and then we want you to go down, and you will make your way along as part of the loop. Now, I think this loop will be very basic right now. It's not going to be a full loop. That will eventually, but for now it's going to be, this is just so we can have multiple trains on the line, like so. And trains will come in, they'll loop up, they'll deposit their wares, and then they'll leave. And that's the sort of loop that we're going for here with the water. Now, if I were to build a train, it would begin the level. We don't want to begin the level yet because we want to do some planning. This is a challenge level. So this is the water coming in. We have to get energy to this city. So that means we need to get oil from these four things to here. Now, something we can do, something we know, is that 4 oil patches will feed a single oil power plant to maximum unupgraded. And so if I make 1, 2, 3, 4 oil patches, I wonder, can I place these like a little bit nicer to where they're a little bit neater? This is the best I can do. But these 4 oil wells should be able to feed a single oil power plant. If I place that there, that's perfect. Now we also know that these oil power plants are catalyzed by water. And what that means is if we deliver water to these stations, these will actually produce better and faster. So I think somewhere on this loop, we're going to want to split off a water train that goes around and then comes back. But I think first things first, we want to set up a connection. So let's just get started like this. Very, very simple. This should be very, very doable. Perhaps I should make a small loop. It is more expensive, but it is higher performance to do loops. That does mean my track is going to have to go up unless I were to do this. No, we're playing around with things. The reason why loops are more efficient is because trains don't have to turn around. Turning around trains is incredibly inefficient. So we want to avoid it where possible. So I'm going to just spend a little time redesigning this. Now I do also need to be conscious of my cash flow, but I think this is pretty good. And to be conscious of my cash flow, maybe I will delete some of these stations for now, because stations do actually cost quite a bit of money and quite a bit of upkeep. But this is the supply to this oil power plant. Now, in terms of workers, we have 16 workers, which means we can assign 4 workers to this oil power plant and get, as long as we keep this thing filled with oil, which 4 of these oil wells should be able to do, we should be able to maintain a very healthy, what's that, 8 seconds per thing. How many is that per minute? It's close to just under 8 a minute from a single oil power plant, which is pretty good. Now we can double this, which we plan to do. And the way to do that is with a very particular strategy of making a small station loop for the water train when it comes. And we want it to be on a different level so that it doesn't interfere with the rest of my trains. And then we want this to kind of branch off from our main water line. And then when it's coming back, we want it to branch back on, like so. So a water train will come from the water area, turn left, go up along here, drop off its water at both of these locations. It will require 2 extra stations. Chugga, chugga, chugga. It'll come up, it'll drop off its water, and then it'll leave and it'll come back. It will go back across, rejoin the outline, and then come and pick up some more water. That is the goal, as far as I'm concerned. So I'd call that pretty damn successful. This will essentially double, this is double productive, right? So a single one of these is super productive. Now, what we also may want to do is to have this train come and pick up an energy to bring back to boost the water pumps here. So what we might actually do is bring this up to about here and then loop it back instead. And that way we could have something. Well, the train that I would design, it would look like a single train engine with 4 water carts and a single energy cart to pick up the energy and chug, 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 bring it back to this water pump. And then that would catalyze the water pump, increasing its production by 100%. And I think if I had 2 trains maybe running that line, maybe even just a single train would do the job. I don't know. But this looks appealing to me. This looks reasonable to me. Now, we have spent about half of our money just setting this up, but a lot of this infrastructure we can reuse, which is quite helpful. Something that might be worth it is to set up the water pumps in pairs, like this, and make them have double stations so they can pick up 2 goods at a time. And then if we're picking up 2 goods at a time, it might be good to drop off 2 goods at a time as part of this. So that train will go up here, pick up stuff, and drop off. And I'm doing a lot of initial setup, mostly because the game, once it gets going, you cannot pause. You have to keep going. And that makes things very interesting in that the initial setup, you have to also plan your expansions in mind. Let's have a quick look at this geothermal and how it works. So if I catalyze this with water, it would produce 1 energy every 16 seconds. It can store up to 4, and that energy could be directly exported. This is not a bad building. I don't think it's the way I'm going to do things though. So the other thing we have to do is we have to think of how we're going to pick up the energy that this building produces and deliver it to the city. And I think that's going to be actually a fairly straightforward track. I want to avoid, so like if I were to build like this, but if I raise this, it does get more expensive. But by raising it, it does mean that I avoid certain issues relating to climbing. And that means I can use a less powerful train to look after this. This is a relatively short run too, so should be fine to do something like this. That will bring the energy to the city. So we're bringing water to the city, which the city will consume, and we're bringing energy to the city, which the city will consume. We're going to need 2 trains on this line, I think. We're going to need a few trains on this line, I think. It might be good to set up another energy line over here. I think we will, because we just about have the resources for that. So let's do a crude oil well, crude oil well, crude oil well, crude oil well. And the beautiful thing here is we can make the loop pretty nice in that it will hit all 4 of these pretty comfortably. I think the trick will be to bring it up to here. Oh, that's moderately annoying that I have to do that weird kink, but I will do that. Sentences you don't usually hear in a YouTube video. This one we will put 4 stations because there are 4 wells here. This is going to be a big old train. Maybe that's a bit much. Maybe I'm over investing here. Let's go a little easier. We'll just put 2 for now, and we'll put 2 over here too. We could just maybe put more, right? And then we'll put the oil power plant. Oh, come on. Oh, I don't like it there. I do like it here because we can do a cheeky thing like so and get a very direct connection to the city. We've connected this oil power plant. We can put 4 workers in it. The 4 workers have been assigned. Every tile is important for us to get right because every tile costs money. So this is now connected up. We've got probably a decent amount of energy pumping into that city. Now we do have the ability to expand. We've got oil over here. We've got oil over here. We've got oil over here. I do want to get water to this as well. So I think that's going to be the next step, is to bring water in, which is going to mean duplicating this, coming in like this, and then leaving like that. Perfect. We've got about 3,000 money left, so let's get started. I think the first thing we're going to do is get started. I could do some boiler engines, but I might go for the balanced workhorse. If we take a look at the boiler engine, right, it has a rated weight of 66 tons, whereas this has a rated weight of 57 tons. But this has better climb rating, better acceleration, better speed. So I do think I'm going to go for the workhorse engine. And you are going to be just a water train. 4 cars of water. Your job is to deliver this water to the city. So he's going to come up, he's going to deliver the water, and then come back. So that's the beginning. We're going to want to get oil from these 2 oil fields into the oil power plant. So we're going to start with maybe a custom engine with 2 oil cars. Maybe that will work quite well. And we'll do the same here with a custom engine and 2 oil cars. No, actually, you know what? I should do the workhorse. 1, 2, 3. I should really do the workhorse. So let me, 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going to go ahead and sell this train. And instead, I'm going to clone this train. The balanced workhorses are really nice. They do the job. They're relatively fast. They accelerate pretty well. That should get the oil in here. And then this train, this can be a boiler engine with 5 cars. It can just be slow, real slow, high throughput, because it's just going back and forth. And now we're starting to bring in revenue. There are costs associated with this. But we are bringing in revenue. Water has been delivered, and oil is now making it into the oil power plant. Let's go ahead and clone this train again, this time to move oil from these 4 oil fields into this oil power plant. And then we're going to clone this energy train to bring energy from this oil power plant to the city. And then I'm going to clone this train. Once I have the cash, I'm just waiting for cash flow. Once I can clone this train, we'll be bringing water more rapidly to the city. Basically double the throughput on this. And something we want to do is if I hold right click, you can see the up letters. That's basically are the factories producing 100% of the time? And you want to get all of your industry to 100% uptime. That's an important thing to do. All right, so let's follow this train so I can talk a little bit about the game mechanics. You should totally be going the other way. So we will fix that because trains will ghost when they pass through each other, but that's inefficient and not good. Yeah, so the number of stations at a station dictates how many goods can be unloaded at a time. So by having 2 stations, you double the output. This energy doesn't need to be offloaded very quickly because it's a short route, whereas this route is quite long. So I want it to be unloaded pretty quick so he could maximize the amount of time he spends moving. Generally speaking, trains with cargo take priority over trains without cargo. So the train without cargo will ghost, go to 0 speed, and then have to accelerate back up, which is why you want them to go on a loop so that your trains don't stop as much. You get better throughput from your trains. It could be worth it to double the number of trains I have working on these loops here. I definitely think that's true for this one here. So I'm going to take this train and I'm going to clone it and put a second one in there. And this way we have like a little loop of a few trains kind of all following. Now I could just make this train bigger, basically add this train to the back of it so it becomes 1 giga train. But I think I prefer having multiple trains. That way things are always accelerating and decelerating, and there's kind of a smoothness to the curvature and things are always getting delivered. And I will probably do similar things over here. Now, something I really want to do is to make the workhorses that are going to deliver water. So I'm going to go with a workhorse. This is going to have 1, 2, 3 water and a single energy. Your job will be to go here. You're going to go left. Then you're going to go left here. You're going to come in around here, hit all 3 of these stations, then turn right and rejoin the loop and hopefully deliver an energy down here at this end. I think I'm going to add an extra station here to speed up that train's transitions. And I think just for the sake of it, just so the water can be picked up rapidly, I will even add an extra station. I did not mean to add that one. I did not mean to add 5. It should not be at 5. It should be at 4. But yeah, now he can pick up all of his water in a single tick, in a single second, and essentially turn around really quickly. And in order to make this slightly more efficient, I'm going to do the same here, which will feel pretty good for these trains. So in terms of delivery, we need to get more water to these trains. So I'm going to clone this once again. We will have a bunch of trains following in this line, picking up water, doing what they need to get the stuff delivered to the city. Hopefully once the catalyst arrives, you didn't pick up any energy, which sucks. Why didn't you pick up energy? There might not have been energy in the station, which is unlucky. That might just be bad luck. You did get a catalyst at least. So there's a little bit of congestion here, but that's actually totally fine. Not a big deal whatsoever. Let's go ahead and make some more water pumps. So I'll put these two adjacent to each other. I'll do a sort of similar vibe. They're going to come in like this, and you'll split off like that. So we'll go ahead and set up a couple stations here to pick up this water. Are we getting enough water to the city? We are not getting enough water to the city. I don't believe we're making enough water. So I'm going to change this train to this right side, and I'm going to go ahead and clone it. And yeah, now it's going over to these water pumps instead. Okay, this train is actually picking up water now, and water is starting to be delivered, which is good. I'm also going to clone this train on this other side to do the exact same thing to deliver energy over on here. So hopefully it will follow the same loop. Yes, it does. Perfect. So water is slowly being delivered over here for the purpose of catalyzation. And we've delivered 70 energy to the city. The problem is we're not getting enough water, and it needs 2 water minimum. Water is getting stored up in these pumps. So let me have a look. I'm going to go ahead and clone this train to get more water delivered. These workhorses are great. Nice, we've got 2 water trains, although you were quite empty. I think it's because of the lack of energy over here giving catalyzation. Yeah, it looks like you're just unlucky. It might be good to set up an oil rig dedicated to making catalyst. That actually might be better. I think I will do that. Okay, we're just going to use a boiler engine with 5 here, and this is going to bring crude oil from this oil well. It's going to be real kind of like very straightforward. The goal is for this energy to be used as a catalyst in the water industry, because I don't think this whole energy train thing is going to work. So I'm going to delete the energy car and just add another water car to these catalyst delivery cars. So let me go ahead and configure you. We're going to delete the energy and add the water. So we should now be getting oil on a regular basis into here. Let's go ahead and make sure we set up that whole thing. And this basically just lets us get the stuff in there at maximum rate. We're seeing really good revenue growth per minute. I don't think we're going to hit our goal. I mean, we might be able to hit the goal. It is just going to be kind of tough. The water trains are backing up, but honestly, that's a good thing. That means there's a consistent supply, but maybe not enough of a supply. So we might need to add more water trains there. That's okay. How is this looking? No catalysts are making it. That's fine. Right. Let's go ahead and set up the catalyst line. You're going to come down low, loop in there, leave some room for those, and then rejoin. At the station, I want you to do a small loop like so. Let's go ahead and salvage. We'll put a station here. We'll put a station here to drop off the catalyst, and we're going to make a train. This is going to be a custom train with 2 energy on it, and I'm going to clone this because we want them to go fast. They got a lot of hills to go up and down. Hey, nice, the city leveled up. That might mean it'll eat more energy, so it'll be easier to deliver more energy to the city. It's going to need furniture, appliances, or glass. Well, that's bad. I don't know how to make those. Does that mean I just get screwed here? Is water still getting supplied is the question. Okay, you can oversupply a city. Well, that's fine. You can oversupply, so not a big deal. Let's clone this train so we can get the catalysts from here to the destination nice and quick. Why did you only pick up 1 energy? I'm so confused. I think the play here is to break this up into 2 separate destination lines. The thing is, you got to be quick when you're building because you are timed here. That's 1 line. You're going to join like that, and then I'm going to split this. Okay, so you're going around like this. You're going around like this, and you're going the wrong way somehow. How do I turn you around? Oh, I guess I can just reverse you. I see the issue here. I needed a second station. Okay, now we should be overproducing water, which is great. We should also be pumping out a serious amount of energy. Let's go ahead and clone this train. Put second trains on the line. Clone you 2. We've got the cash for it. There's a little bit of overlap here. How's the energy going? Destination full is fine. That's part of the goal. Why are you still on the wrong side? Reverse. Let me go ahead and clear this connection. You're going the wrong way. You're going the wrong way. So now they're all going around this the right way, thankfully. We're not bringing catalysts here, but that's fine because this is a catalyst generator. Is enough water getting to this station? Is enough oil? It's got a 90% uptime. I think a 3rd train here would help. So we're going to go for the 3rd train, and then probably, honestly, just go for the 4th train as well. That way, the whole track is filled with trains picking up, dropping off cargo, so there's just a constant throughput here. It might be part of the problem is we're just not picking up enough stuff quickly enough. Catalysts are making it, which is good. I'm going to go ahead and clone this train, and instead, you're going to be picking up water. That's going to be your job. You will pick up the water. I'm going to build another industry, oil well, right there, like so. We will put a very nice boiler engine here to get more oil picked up and shoved into this. I could even upgrade this so that I can accept more oil and produce more energy. And then I could take that energy from here and drop it off right there. which would directly help me with my main task. And for that, I think I'm just going to use a rather large custom high-speed custom engine double length train, and it will slowly siphon this off. Okay, so we've got all the catalyst we need basically over here, which is good. We need to get 56 more energy in 1 minute, which we probably can't do. So we're not gonna S rank this, but I'm okay with not S ranking. I'm still learning how to play the game. But man, have I been having fun playing it. We only need to get 48 more energy to the station. Yeah, it looks like the energy in here is maxing out. So let's go ahead and get more, drop it off. We're gonna clone this train. Actually, I'm gonna make a train and it's gonna be a quick custom. It'll have lower throughput, but if I put a second station on both ends, it will be super fast. It'll pick up 2 energy, immediately leave, and it'll hit more consistently than this bigger train. You can see it'll drop, boom, instant drop, and it leaves. So it's a very, very fast train back and forth. I'm also gonna upgrade this, which will increase the production rate by 50%, but also give it more storage capacity. Let's once again increase the throughput of energy here by adding another station. We'll clone this train. Shorter distance, it should have really good throughput. 24 more energy. We'll be able to get an A rank pretty comfortably here. But you can kind of see the appeal of this game, of bringing all the stuff together and trying to make it all work, you know? Something I should definitely do is add another couple of stations down here so that these trains, once they stop, they insta pick up and then so that there's minimal waiting time. So that, like, he drops all of his cargo and immediately starts accelerating. That was kind of the goal there. I think I could have done this water area a little bit better, but I think the water area did its job, right? It delivered the cargo that I wanted to. I definitely feel like I learned a lot from running this run. I do like that the water is being catalyzed and delivered. But yeah, I would call that a successful A rank run. And this is the thing, this game is super fun. I could play this level again and try to go for the S rank. And I wasn't that far off an S rank, right? I was a minute off. So like some small optimizations, maybe if I had designed it better, maybe if I'd made shorter railway lines, maybe if I had placed my buildings slightly more efficiently, we could have done more. Maybe if I had been more efficient with the way that I spent money, maybe I didn't need as many workhorses as I built. There's a lot you could do. But yeah, there's a whole story mode for this game. We just did the Region 3 bonus region. The bonus regions are actually quite tough. Like, I've been able to do the story ones pretty comfortably at S rank, but the bonus regions are a little bit tougher. And we're probably going to go on and do stretched thin. And honestly, I might just make this a giant, like, I love this game video. So let's do stretched thin, right? We've got 20 minutes. You can add modifiers like your trains won't ghost. This means you have to be careful to avoid congestion, which means you need to make loops. I like the train ghosting. I think it's a nice compromise. Yeah, Railgrade, man. It's super, super interesting. Stretched thin. Permanent license unlocked. We have received a global license file for the copper mine that needs to be built upon a copper deposit. Steel is a hard requirement for our appliances production. For your task, fire up production at the Hakaganekis licensed steel mill by providing supply of iron ore and coal to the steel mill. So let's take stock of this. Our first goal is to produce 8 steel and export. And then our second goal is to export 24 appliances. So if we take a look at the steel mill here, it needs both coal and iron to make steel. And we need to export appliances. So what's going over here? We've got an appliance plant over there. We've got a city over here that provides workers. We've got the iron mine. So you can kind of see how everything connects. The appliance plant requires steel and wire. We've got the wire coiler, which requires copper, and it needs workers. That means we'll need to build some copper industry. We'll need at least 1 copper mine. So I'll plant a single copper mine right there. This produces 1 copper every 16 seconds. And what is it catalyzed by? It's catalyzed by storage or waste. It's catalyzed by waste. This is catalyzed by energy. 1 copper makes 2 wire in, I don't know how long. It doesn't say, but that's something we'll learn as time goes on. We've got oil wells over here, so we can make energy if we want. We've got the voucher exchange where we can, get more music, which is fun. Iron mine over here. This is catalyzed by waste. All right, we've got our bank, we've got our accountancy. Trying to just okay, coal mines are over here, and we've got more coal veins. There's no water on the map, so that's worth keeping in mind. We can produce energy from oil wells if we want to catalyze the steel mill and the appliance plant. I don't know if we need to do that, but at least the option is available. So let's start thinking about how we're going to finish this level. We definitely need to get steel to this appliance plant, and then we need to get appliances to the Zeppelin dock. So let's do let's do the appliances to the Zeppelin dock first. We need to get 24 appliances over there. So let's build a little railway loop around this thing so trains don't have to stop. And then we'll build a railway line to the appliance plant. Maybe it would be fun to build like a little railway loop around this. That's terrible. Let's not do that. Like this. This will be the railway loop. So I'm thinking a station here to deposit the appliances. We'll want a rather large station here too on the corner so that we can pick up and drop off in batches of 4. This is going to be an important destination. So that should allow us to actually export the appliances. So now we need to get copper wire to here. You know what? I think I'm overthinking this with the loops and stuff. Let's just simplify. Let's simplify a lot. Okay, we're just going to do it back and forth, and we'll do the same over here. We're going to just way simplify this. I think I'm overthinking it. I'm making it too complicated. It doesn't need to be this complicated. It's a simple level. We'll just put a single station here and a single station here. That should manage it. We're going to need 4 workers. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 workers in there. Oh, shoot. We only have so many. We only have 6 workforce. Okay. Now that changes things because now we might need to get wire from the wire coilers to the city to level it up. Okay, hold on. Let me go ahead and restart this map so we can change how we're mapping out the plan here. I like this. It's called stretched thin because you're stretched thin on workforce and you're actually making copper wire. That's a really clever play on words that I'm a big fan of. So we definitely need copper. One of the key things we're going to need. Oh, there is a water pump. Oh, hold on. The water pump is boosted by energy. Okay, hold on. This changes things significantly. Let's start with some track here, and we want the track to stay high. And we want to be just in range of there. That's fine. That's going to be a station right here that connects to this water place. That's going to get us energy to this water pump. Now, we need to get water from here into the city. So we're going to go with track, and we want the track to be as short and cheap as possible. 152, 144, right? For optimizing, 144 right there. Now, since this is a weird up and down, a custom train that goes real fast would be nice. So there you go. That's the most efficient way I can connect these two things and get that water up there. This is a highly leveled thing though, which maybe makes me want to change how I'm going to do things. Because while it would be more expensive to connect it like this with a high height, I do think that this can work. Because now the water doesn't have to go up and down, which means I can use a low climb train. And this doesn't cost upkeep, which I think works quite well for me. And we need the workforce. So I'm thinking 2 stations here, 2 stations here. That handles the connection here. I could probably make this slightly more efficient. I'm not going to bother. So we've got the water connected. That's at least the beginning. So this will get us our workforce. I do think it would be good for us to get an oil industry right there. Oil will go from here into here. Energy will go from here into here. And then the water will go from here back into the chain. So who else uses water? Now that's an interesting question. We can have a look around. No one else really uses water. How much is a copper mine? Okay, copper mines are not that expensive. But I'm going to start off with 2 copper mines. Copper is going from here to here. Maybe I will rework this track slightly, actually. Connect these 2 buildings like so. Copper goes here. Boom. We are going to want energy. So I'll just quickly do this. We also want appliances to go over here. We want coal to go to the steel mill. So we're just kind of doing quick and dirty connections right now. And iron to go to the steel mill. And then we want the steel mill to go to the appliance factory. Right, yeah. So these are our connections as it currently stands. We've got iron and coal going to the steel mill. We've got the steel mill going to the appliance. We've got copper going to the wire coilers. We've got the wire coilers going to the appliance plant. We've got the appliance plant going to the export, which is our goal after we've produced steel. Now, in order to do all that, we need to make water, and that water needs to go to the city, which is what we're doing here with the water pump. So I think we can start off now. Here's the thing. I could go with the boiler engine here. With 5 water cars on it, it is quite cheap. Like, let's say if I go for the workhorse with 4 cars, this costs me 12 cash per minute and goes 46.3. If I go with the boiler, I can go 5 cars and it goes 32. The other one's 50% faster and has nearly twice the acceleration. This has 25% more capacity and a lot less upkeep. I think I'm going to go with the workhorse engine. It is more expensive, but it does do the job, and it's going to bring the water where it needs to go pretty quickly. We're going to do a very cheap engine here. Should be a very, very quick. Just deposit oil into this. We'll put a single worker And this will pick up water and energy and deposit between the two. Right, so good job on this train. We're now officially producing population. I am going to clone this train to maximize the throughput of water into the city because that's going to make us money. If I go in here, where's our, there we go, the accountancy. You can see we're making some cash flow up here, a bit of revenue from the water export. And these two trains should be all I need for the whole game to supply water to this city. And the great thing is they're going to also produce revenue. This water is now revenue for us, similarly to how this oil is revenue for energy, and this energy is revenue for water. So they feed each other. So let's go ahead and maximize the oil production. I think that's going to be a good meme. Let's get more oil pumping in here. We'll go for the boiler engine, plus the 5 cars that it can efficiently grab. Pick up all these oils for a relatively cheap cost. We'll keep it going. Now you are using the catalyst, which is good. I do want a 4th oil well. Not enough money, so we're waiting for a little bit of cash flow here. And the city is growing, giving us the workers we need. Now the good thing about this is this city will use as much water as I can produce. So this is now all just cash flow for me, which is fantastic. All this oil getting delivered, each oil is worth 32 cash. Helping me out. Let's start delivering iron ore. We'll get ourselves a basic boiler engine with 5 iron ore trains on it. It's simple enough to get all this stuff delivered. We're going to do the same thing for the coal, just so we can start getting these things moved. All right, let's go ahead and assign some workers to the steel mill. We can do 8. The city is still growing, which is great. Eventually we can start adding energy to the city from the oil power plant. That'll be a good money maker. Good at exporting appliances. Okay, perfect. 10 pages, we're going to consider growing the city. Yeah, I do plan to grow the city. We are in fact growing the city. I'm going to make a simple workhorse with 1, 2, 3, 4 energy to deliver that energy to the city. A for money and B for extra growth to keep that city growing. So that's a nice cash flow we've made here. Let's start getting the steel delivered from here to the appliance factory. Because there is a grade here, a lot of grade, I think the train I'm going to use is at least the workhorse. I may use the custom engine because it has really good climb rating. I'll assign a single worker here, and then let's start getting this copper moving too. All right, so I think a workhorse with 4 copper cars will get us started moving copper from here. Nice, we got the level up of the city, which is huge. Delivering water, delivering energy. Copper ore is getting picked up. It will be dropped at this wire coiler. You can actually export things too, which is quite nice. Continuing to grow the workforce. The steel mill's up to max. We are now starting to get steel in here. We do have copper in here. Let's get the station and start delivering. Workhorse 1, 2, 3, 4 wires. And then we'll do the same. We'll do a station from here to the Zeppelin. Workhorse 1, 2, 3, 4 appliances. So we've now officially connected up the whole goal of this scenario. And I think something we'll do is we want to separate out the climbing sections if we're going to add more trains to this, like that. And then we're going to clone this train and send it along the same line with the steel because it has to do a lot of climbing. We might need like another steel mill to do that. Let's make sure we have max workers at the appliance plant, max workers at the wire coiler, and max workers at the wire coiler. So we're just about to hit things. We could get a loan. I don't think we need a loan because being able to export appliances shouldn't be too hard for us. We don't have the upgrade license for the appliance plant. Something we could do is deliver energy to the appliance plant along this route with a custom engine and 2 energy carts. So this guy should be able to pick up energy and drop it at the appliance plant, speeding it up because I think 16 seconds time is quite a while. Not enough wire is getting delivered, which probably means I'm not producing enough wire, realistically. So that might require more copper. Energy's getting where it needs to go. We're pumping out max water. All 100% uptime on these. Let's hold right click. Oil power plant's at 50% uptime. You're at 100%. You're at 36% uptime. So why is that? Because we're not moving enough steel out of here. You've totally gone the wrong route, even though I cloned you, which is causing slowdowns. Let's clone this train to get more of this wire moving. We've delivered 5 appliances. We only need to deliver 24 to complete the mission. Yeah, uptime on this iron mine is really atrocious. We could theoretically export some iron too for cash, which I'm not against, because it won't take this guy long to make his money back with how quick this iron route will be to export. It's 32 yen per drop. He cost me about 500. Probably takes him a minute. Yeah, so he'll make about 60 per minute. So he'll pay himself back off in a few minutes. Similarly, I could probably export some of this spare steel too, which is absolutely what I'm gonna do. Okay, what's going on with the appliance plant? Looks like we need more trains on that line. So we'll get another train, another workhorse to empty this out. Scoop up all those appliances. Storage is full, which means uptime is down. I'm gonna go ahead and add an extra station to double loading and unloading speed. And in fact, I'm just gonna go up to the full 4. So we can unload and load these trains in a single second. Now we're not getting enough steel over here. Why are you going the wrong way? Why are you doing this? Why are my trains like this? Appliances are going out the door. Nice, 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 nice. We're good on copper. Destination full. The city is growing. It's probably not getting enough energy, but that's fine. We are exporting a little bit of resources. It looks like appliances. Okay, so higher tier goods are actually worth more to exploit, like exporting crude oil, worth a little bit of cash. Exporting energy made from crude oil, worth twice as much. Well, I guess that does make sense because it takes 2 crude oil to make 1 energy. Reasonable. And so I think exporting is not ideal, but it is a good way to make cash. This is a fairly straightforward mission. I wouldn't call this like easy because it required a little bit of like planning and understanding and game mechanics and stuff, but it wasn't a challenge. So we got region 4 bonus A. Oh, meddlesome production. Let's try out this bonus level. Bonus levels tend to be like a little bit harder. I've been only able to get grade A on bonus levels so far. Kickstart production at the steel mill. Be prepared for further extreme expansions. I need to produce 36 steel per minute. Right. What is going on here? We've got a coal power plant that requires 2 coal, which will make 1 energy. It needs water as a catalyst. We've got the coal mines over here. We've got coal mines over here. Okay. We've got worker housing giving me 20 workers. We've got accountancy. So we definitely want the coal power plant working. We definitely want the steel mill working. The iron mines are over here. They don't require workers. We've got the Zeppelin dock for us to export stuff. So we have all the workers we need. We've got steam vents. Interesting. Let's have a look at what things can I build? Ooh, I cannot make industries. There is no industries button, even though there's steam vents over here. Okay, right. We will eventually need energy to this steel mill. You guys produce a lot of iron. I'm thinking a nice circle loop goes from these iron mines to this steel mill around back through. So it's a nice loop. And I'm probably going to set up a double loop here. Let's get started with the single. Okay, we'll make our way up here. We don't necessarily need to go through the Zeppelin dock, but we'll make our way like this. So this loop will carry iron from here to the steel mill. Now this is a little bit of an awkward station setup here. There's not a whole lot of room to play with, which is fine. So I'm just going to do a loop. This will carry this coal. I don't even know how I'm going to get this coal over to here. Yeah, it'll probably be something like this. We're not going to worry about that right now. So these guys are producing an outrageous amount of coal. Right. So we've got 3 coal mines, all at level 1, supplying a steel mill. We've got 3 iron mines, all at level 1, 16 time production speed, 16 time production speed. So if I can get all of this coal and all of this iron to this steel mill, we're good. Now the thing is, we also need to get this steel out of the steel mill so that storage doesn't fill up. So we're likely to export the steel, which is going to require some modifications to our setup. So I think what I would rather do here is honestly drop this off and then get back here as soon as we can while leaving space for another line like this. Because I think 2 lines feeding this area will actually be very successful. Okay, go in there, go in there. I have to do a few mods here, but it should work pretty reasonably. Yeah, so now we've got our double loop to get all the iron out of here. And that should work great. Now we need to think about how we're going to get the steel from here. And I think a very simple loop from the steel mill to the Zeppelin dock will do it. And that way we're bringing iron, we're bringing coal, and we're bringing it to the steel mill, and we're exporting it on the Zeppelin dock. This is going to require quite a bit of stationing. We also want to be producing energy. Now you guys use waste, you use waste, and you use waste as your catalyst, but I have no way to produce waste that I'm aware of. Oh, a wire coiler. I will purchase the wire coiler blueprint. Not that I don't think I have a use for that on this map. We need to get coal up here and then get energy to the steel mill, because catalyzing a workspace is equivalent to leveling it up twice. So it's probably worth like 46, whatever triple this number is here. So let's raise this track. We'll start a loop and we'll just make it play nice with the coal power plant. Now we need to get coal from here to the coal power plant. And I think the natural route to do that is to get it up and around this hill and then back down somehow. Yeah, this is starting to feel kind of in the direction of what we want. So now we're bringing coal up the hill to the coal power plant. We're bringing energy from the coal power plant to the steel mill. We're bringing steel from the steel mill to the Zeppelin dock. And we could also eventually maybe set up a coal power plant Zeppelin dock direct route if we want to. So now let's start setting up our stations. If I put a station here, I can connect all 3 of these coal power plants to a single station, like so, which is quite nice. Similarly, if I put one here, I can connect all 3 of these coal power plants to a single station. I think being able to unload will be quite nice. Energy doesn't need to be moved very quickly because it's a catalyst. So I can use just a single station here to move the energy between these 2. It actually doesn't need to be moved very quickly because the catalyst is used up over 90 seconds. Iron, on the other hand, is used up very quickly. So getting the iron over there will be important. So if I connect you and you and you and you, that is that. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, and that should guarantee maximum throughput. I need to make sure these are not connected because these are actually separate lines. That means maximum throughput from these steel mills, these iron mines, to the steel mill. And I think now we just need to actually build the trains. We've got the basic setup. Let's export 8 steel and see what we can do. 36 steel per minute is insane, but we might be able to do it with workhorses. Let me see here. There's 12 coal stored here at any one time, which means we can pick up 15 coal. So if we wanted to roleplay like a coal baron, we could do triple boiler engine with 15 trains, right? That's the rated weight, hits it pretty hard. That could be fun. Let's try that out. Why not? Let's do it. It'll be fun. We'll add another station so that it only takes 3 seconds to load and unload the train. So you'll see coal, 1, 2, 3. We're going to do the same for the iron. Let's make it happen. Doesn't matter which way they go. 1, 2, 3 boilers and then 15 iron cars. This train has a little bit more up and down, so I'm going to do double workhorse. Oh, I forgot to put a station. Sorry. 1, 2, 3, 4. I will do a workhorse with 1, 2, 3, 4. Couple workhorses and 8 coal, because that's what this power plant can hold, and it'll take 2 seconds to fill this train up. The iron is being deposited. There we go. We are now producing steel. Okay, let's make our station known. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. We will get ourselves a nice little workhorse with 4 steel. Let's do a 12 long so we can get a lot of steel moving. All right, we'll clone this train. We've got a second coal train. I'm going to clone the iron train. It'll do the same. Keep the iron flowing. Core to this region is level 3. Your task is maximize the flow of steel for export. Set up a basic supply line, then double up the flow of inputs and exports and catalysts. This region has the potential to export steel like a waterfall if you set it up right. Let's go ahead and set up a regular boiler engine with 5 energy carts so it can move this coal power plant to the steel mill. I'm also going to add some smaller boiler engines on this line. My thought is they'll spend less time loading and there'll be a more consistent supply. We need to get all this iron going. So they stop for a split second, boom, they drop off their cargo and they move. Okay, now we need to get more coal moving. All right, how are we doing? We're up to 15.8 coal per minute, so we just need, or 15.8 steel per minute, so we just need to get more of these things moving. I could double up the coal production because we're not actually making enough coal right now to export. So perhaps what we do is we upgrade the level of this. That will give us 50% more coal. So we can't actually catalyze it. Maybe I'll upgrade it twice to double the coal production. Here's the thing, as long as we're moving 100, as long as some of these carts are empty, that means we're moving 100% of the coal here. And similarly, if some of these are empty, then that's actually a good thing. And in fact, we're not getting enough coal to the steel mill, which is not good. It may in fact be necessary for us to take coal from these other mines and bring them over. So we've got the steel coming out at a pretty good rate. We want to be emptying this. This has to be basically constantly empty. We're moving as much coal as we can, but it's not enough, which is an issue. What if I lowered the workforce down until we fill it? So we produce the steel slower. All right, I'm trying to get like a constant supply of coal trains to keep the coal flowing rather than using big trains. I think smaller trains might actually just be better. because there's a lot more acceleration happening on the track when you have smaller trains, I feel like, which just might be just marginally more efficient. Yes, you have more deceleration as well, because trains are constantly stopping and starting, but I think it means that overall throughput is better. Okay, now let's unleash the workforce in here, and now let's get more coal from here back. Let's do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's start cloning those coal trains. We're just gonna clone a hell of a lot of coal trains to try and get them over there. We need more steel, 2 levels for each steel mill. Should be 100% production rate. Okay, we're almost up at the steel per minute that we need. 30 per minute, we're close. But we need to get more of that steel out of the station. Don't know if we're getting it out fast enough. So close, and yet so far. Storage full is an issue. This station is, I think, at maximum throughput. I'm gonna add another train or 2, but like literally can't load or unload any faster, which means we need to set up a new loop full of custom engines. So let's copy these. Maybe we can get more of this out more consistently using these. But problem right now is emptying. Need to get the stuff out. There's a lot of iron still left over. Let's get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We'll clone that train. We'll set up another station down here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Maybe we can get more iron over there. Clone, boom. So close to where we need to be. Need inputs, iron. Yep, we're working on it. Stations are constantly loading and unloading. Oh, we're so close, so painfully close. Always want our stations hit, just not quite enough iron. Oh, we're so close. I might take a new approach if I try this again. I have some ideas. We did it? Did we do it? Did we get the A? Did we get the S tier? Oh, just barely squeaked through a victory. Man, that was a moment right there where I thought we weren't going to make it. So roundabout and out. This is where we're going to learn about the import dock. This is the first time I did a bonus level with a record finish. All right, let's do a Region 4 bonus B, round and out and about. So it's going to be a 25-minute mission. And I think I'm going to set up I do like the 5 train thing. When life gives you copper and steel, make appliances. Don't let your steel exports go to waste. Import here and combine with copper to produce every household stream appliance. The colony workers will be proud to fill their homes with the region's outputs. Okay, so we've got a ton of copper over here. We have water springs, we have oil patches, we have worker housing. So we've got 40 workers in the bank. We do have a Zeppelin import dock, which is going to cost us money here. Now, if we were to directly export that steel, it would cost us, it would effectively cost us money because we would be paying maintenance to make the same money importing out. So interesting, kind of cool. We've got a voucher exchange here. I guess we can purchase a couple songs. I purchased all the songs, which is cool. Get all the permanent licenses. We've got the bank over here. You can deposit money in the bank, and it's a pretty cool, useful thing. We've got the appliance plants. They need steel and wire. I can make wire coilers. Now, what is the purpose of the water spring in this level? Water pumps. There were oil wells too. Now, is that specifically for energy? So I need to export 256 appliances. Now, I'm trying to map this out. So I'll need to export a lot of appliances. So getting those appliances up and running will be important, which means I need to get steel from here all the way over to here, okay, to this appliance area. Then I need to get the appliances from here to the Zeppelin dock, which is a very, very long way away. Now, thankfully, there's nothing else going on there. I think an obvious part of this map will be to make use of higher rails, so we don't have as many inclines, which will make our trains more efficient. We'll probably be using a double deposit system on the Zeppelin dock for appliances to get the throughput high enough. So I'm just going to set that up temporarily. I will set one of these station thingies up for now, and we will connect them like so. Perfect. So now we're delivering appliances from the appliance plant to the Zeppelin dock. Now we need to deliver steel twice. I don't think it makes sense to have a raised track this whole way. I think it does actually make sense to go down because the cost savings are actually pretty tasty. Yeah, it's like half price. And you don't lose that much speed. So that's the iron connected from here to the appliance plants. I think what I'm going to do is something slightly different. Let's try to optimize things to save cash. So this will be where I put my stations for the exporting. I want my trains to go on nice smooth curves if I can manage it. Also, I want to minimize the amount of actual travel distance. So making, by kind of optimizing the placement of these tracks, I can cut some travel time from the whole journey. And by cutting travel time, I should, in theory, increase throughput, keeping things as straight as possible. Right, so that's the export dock. Export, like so. So that feels relatively efficient. I've cut corners where I can. I don't think this steel one is relatively efficient, but I might just have to live with that. Industries do need workers, so we should have enough workers for everything. So if I just press F, hotkeys, honestly, are pretty clutch in this game. All right, there's the two stations, one for iron, one for appliances. Now I need to deliver copper wire, which means I need to make copper wire. So first things first, I need a copper vein and a wire coiler. I am potentially going to want to deliver energy too, but I haven't even thought about making the energy yet. And I think it would be better if I just get the appliances exporting. Now, in theory, I could also just export this oil. Like if I make an oil pump, put it right there, it makes what, 8 oil per minute, which is 32 cash, blah, blah, blah. We could make some money from that. It's fine. We could also export the energy too, or import. I don't know what the best move is yet. I just know I'm not going to be building these oil wells just yet. I would rather get the actual industries up and running and then look to catalyze them. So I'm thinking I would feel pretty comfortable with 2 copper veins, 16 seconds, so they produce 4 per minute, with a wire coiler here. My hope is that that is an appropriate number. I do want to build over them like this. I'm thinking about this and how I want to do things. Yeah, there's kind of an interesting thing here where a station built on this tile will hit all 4, but not if it's built across these 2 tiles. So there's kind of an interesting setup I need to hit here. Like I need a track piece here, which kind of changes how I'm going to build things a little bit, because this is how copper is going to get to all of the stations. Now I could also break things up into multiple delivery segments, but that makes things very complicated. So I'm going to go with the corner system. Each good is assigned a corner. Like this is the steel corner, which as far as I'm concerned also means the bottom is also the steel corner. And that means 2 more stations are going to go here to fill these corners. Come on, I want to try and get that connected. Come on, come on. All right, I'm going to keep this whole area raised, I think, like this. And I'm going to place a wire coiler right here. And at least for now, we'll bring copper from here, from 2 stations down here. This is where we have minimal traffic, okay? I think I have this set up correctly. We've got copper ore going to here. We've got copper wire going to here. Well, there's only one way to find out. First things first, let's set up those stations. This thing doesn't need to be particularly fast or go very far. So I think a regular boiler copper train bringing the wire to the wire coiler is fine. And then I think a similar sort of regular boiler copper wire is fine. Steel, on the other hand, might be a little bit more complicated. We do need workers assigned to this wire coiler. So this wire coiler is now net positive income for us. It's actually making money. Slowly, but surely. It'll take some time for the wire to actually be produced, but they are produced in 2s at least. Copper can and will be dumped here. There we go. That's copper coil. I probably shouldn't have built so many stations this early. That's probably a key mistake. All right, let's start with the boiler engine. Getting me 5 steel. Take a while for it to deliver, but it will deliver. Now I could take a loan here if I wanted to get things up and running faster, but I like not doing loans. Something satisfying about not taking out a loan. I regret my decisions. I'm gonna redo this one. I'm gonna redo it. I feel like I learned a lot about how I should set up this level. And the travel time is the thing. I don't need to minimize time at the station. So I'm gonna change how I do things. Okay, got my export line set up. I've got my import line set up. I think I'm gonna focus on getting the production right here. And spending less money on stations. Like, do we really need more than 1 steel station early on each end? I don't think so, because we're not transporting that much that quickly. It just doesn't seem necessary. Similarly on the Zeppelin dock side of things. And also, it looks like copper mines produce a copper every 16 seconds, and a wire coiler produces every 32 seconds, which is an interesting set of numbers, because that means a single copper mine can feed 2 of these, which dramatically changes how I actually want to do things, right? If you make 1 copper every 16 seconds, that means you can feed 2 of these wire coilers, which is kind of a little bit absurd, actually. The first thing I want to do is to pick up iron and get it moving. I'm going to use a workhorse with 4 steel engines. He should pick up that money and move it down to here and deposit it. Here, I'm going to start with a single boiler engine train with 4 copper cars so that it doesn't slow down at all, and we can kind of move the copper here and here. And I'm going to do the exact same thing. They should go back and forth, back and forth. A little bit of copper will start to be produced. We've already got the workhorse arriving with the steel to start filling these up. Once our first appliances are produced, I will start sending these guys out. The nice thing is that the steel line is actually basically neutral cash flow. It's not exactly, but it's pretty close to that. We're getting 36 steel per minute. There's a little bit of steel going on here. We've got our first set of cables that we're going to be able to deliver. It takes a little bit of time for the train to pick them up, but that's okay. It may not be necessary for this thing to have 4 cars. That might be more upkeep than I need to pay. So let me go ahead and configure this and delete 2 of the copper cars. That will make it slightly more efficient, possibly. It'll turn around quicker, it'll move quicker. Okay, appliances are now being produced. Let's make a train. This will be a workhorse. Oh, I think we need to put a station at this end. We're going to make a train. This will be a workhorse with 4 appliance destinations. So it'll start moving the appliances for me. And this is where we're going to get the majority of our cash flow, is from these appliances being moved. I'm also going to clone the steel train. The idea being that it should be cash flow neutral. And this will basically only marginally increase my maintenance and mean that I can focus on bringing in the copper ore and the copper bonuses and stuff like that, which absolutely will be my goal when we set up our next copper ore stuff. So if I hold right click, I can see the uptime on these is 100%. The uptime on my appliance plants is really low, which means we need to get more steel in there, which is where this guy comes in. We'll be delivering twice as much steel. Let's, for the sake of this, go to 3 steel cars. That way steel is never the bottleneck until we get a little bit more up. Cost is pretty high, partially due to the delivery cost of steel. But hopefully as the appliances get sold and the little bit of passive income we get from this copper mine setup, it should help. You know, I think if I fail this, I'm going to go for the energy first approach next time. And I'll explain why, if that happens. We might still win. We're missing iron as an input, which means more iron trains are what we need to maximize our income. All right, let's see. We've got some stacked up appliances, so let's go ahead and export more with our workhorses. Let's go to 4 exporting trains to catch up. Looks like they're trying to clear the station to keep things going. I'll go up to double. What's wrong with you? Why aren't you picking up steel? Okay. Why aren't you picking up steel? Okay, we're heading up the money ramp. Yeah, not enough steel is getting through. I don't understand why they're not picking up steel. I'm going to go to maximum steel throughput to make sure they're always picking up and delivering a full load of steel in a single tick. Boom, he got it. And I will do the same on exporting appliances. So it's always a single tick job. Increased throughput. Way 4 freight can get done in a single second. The train spends as little time as possible stopped and will accelerate immediately upon selling. All right, let's get a couple more steel trains going until we're slightly overflowing on steel. 40 appliances delivered. We need to ramp up production soon. We need to start getting things like the copper mines up. Train, boiler engine, 1, 2, 3, 2 should be enough. Need to get more copper being produced. Uptime on these appliance plants is at 20%, which isn't bad. Uptime on these mines is okay too. Let's make a wire coiler right here. Assign a couple workers. Put a station there and there. Clone this train. Spin up this wire coiler. It's going to take a while for these wire coilers to start bringing in extra income, but we are now storing the steel in here, which means we need to get the wire coilers going. All right, industry, another wire coiler right there. Oh, not enough money to build. Oh, that's unlucky. Assign a couple workers to that wire coiler so we can make sure it gets filled up. So I could build a whole one of these for 1,000, or I could upgrade and get 50% more for 2,000. I think building more is always better. In this scenario where you have an abundance, upgrading these might be more useful, although they're already super upgraded. Yeah, the steel is starting to pile up, which means we need to get more of the wire coils delivered. Let's double up stations here. It'll double the upkeep cost, but it will double the throughput. We'll grab ourselves another copper mine, and it will start to produce the copper ore that we need to produce more wires. We're up to 83 with 12 minutes on the clock. So I think there is a good chance we can pull this off. Uptime is looking good. We're up to 30-ish to 20-ish% uptime on these guys. And it is copper wire we're lacking. We are getting exports out, so we are making the money we need. Let's drop the 2 wire coilers. We'll make a micro station here with a micro train moving this copper. We're going to change this train to a new station because I can refund all this. And I can configure this to be a workhorse for wire. It'll be a little bit quicker. In fact, we could even make it bigger so that even more wire can be moved at a higher throughput into the center, which I think suits me a little bit better. Takes a while for it to turn around, but it's not a big deal because it is just suctioning up so much copper. Uptime is high. We definitely need to get more copper into the appliance plants, so let's keep on making those industries. I'll do 2 copper mines. I've got 12 workers left to sell those copper mines, and instead we will make a couple crude oil wells and an oil power plant, and we'll use a couple of these guys to deliver the oil. Then hopefully when we deliver the energy to this general area, that will mean we can add another station for less workers. So I'm going to go track here. So I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4 stations. Let's make sure we cover everything. And this train will be a workhorse carrying energy. Then I'm going to make some changes here. We can double up on station delivery. I've got 6 minutes to deliver so many appliances, which means cloning a lot of these trains to get those appliances moving. I'm going to go ahead and sell this train, reconfigure this area, and then make a couple of these workhorses that should make me proud by just yeeting in all of the copper. So now we need to deliver more copper is a issue. Uptime is a little bit lower because we're not making enough copper. Industry, copper mine. I guess you can go there. You can go there. And if I 1, 2, 3 raise you up, I should be able to make this work. It's a little bit tight, it's a little bit crazy, but with one of these little custom engines grabbing copper ore, just dropping it off real quick, we might be able to get the throughput we need. We're definitely not moving enough appliances. We're moving them at maximum rate, as far as I can tell. Maybe we're not getting enough steel through. Press F, you can follow the thing. Oh, I didn't mean to do that. Oh shoot. So let's copy you, copy. That should get the steel flowing a lot quicker, because I think steel is what we're lacking now. You need inputs. So if we get more of these steel workhorses going and going and going and going, a lot's getting moved in here. Let's quickly grab ourselves a water pump right there. Get a pair. 1, 2, 3. Head up here. Stop there. Come up the back. Drop those off. So we will do a custom, a workhorse. Huh? I gotta do station. I see. Do a workhorse and a custom. That'll give them a mix of both with 4 water and 2 energy. It's kind of slow, but it'll do. We're about to win with 2 minutes on the clock, which feels pretty damn good. I'm quite happy with that. I'm quite satisfied. We kicked ass. We got 5 payouts. Nice. I like these challenge missions. Are awesome. I'm really loving this Railgrade game. I cannot sing its praises enough because I've just been having a great time playing. Okay, so let's head on into the next mission. So we've got a fork in the water. I received a global license file. We have the silica quarry. Cool. For your assignment, grow the city to level 1 with water, then expand it to concrete production to grow it further to level 2. Existing water pumps will leave you supply constraint when producing concrete, so either balance water usage or construct additional water pumps. Okay, we got 17k money, we got 25 minutes for an S rank. We gotta get to 256 population, so we definitely need to put water into the city, for sure. We're gonna need to constantly put water into the city and potentially build extra stuff. So in terms of industry, we have access to water pumps and a decent amount of water actually. We've also got access to silica quarries here. What other industries? So water pump, there's the concrete yard. Now the concrete takes silica and water, which is kind of interesting. Now concrete is a catalyst for this city, which means it will grow faster if we supply it with concrete, meaning we can early supply concrete to this city while we're supplying water. We do have a pretty rough grade here. So I kind of want to play around. Like, what if I make a train? Let's say if I do double workhorse, okay, we could take 114 tons. We got 53.7. If I go with double custom, we've only got 72 tons. I've got 75, 4.7. If I do a combo, we've got 93 tons, 62 as well. So the potential here to use the workhorse and the custom engine together is quite good. We can also make use of the boiler engine plus the custom, which splits the difference. Because you get the acceleration and the decent climb rating, right? Really, really good climb rating. Because if you take a look at this boiler engine, it's just not that good, right? It just really isn't that good. But if you combine it with the custom engine, now it's rated weight, it's getting the acceleration, it's getting some of the top speed, but it has a ton of rated weight. So I think mixing a little bit here is actually quite good. So that's probably some of the stuff I'm going to be doing in this run, is mixing engines. So let's salvage up and start to think about what we need to do. So we're going to need to deliver a hell of a lot of concrete. And I think starting out, I think a basic back and forth line that minimizes elevation changes is a really good move here, because it means we can make use of a weak climbing train. Like the boiler only has a 40% climb rating, but even the workhorse only has 50%, whereas the custom has 75. And since I think we could get away with like a pair of workhorses here, or even a single workhorse early in the game, just going back and forth, picking up that concrete. Now we do need to get water to here. And I think this water is best delivered here. But we also need to get silica to this station. So let's get started with a little bit of this. We've got a nice opening rail line that will come up alongside this station and deliver the silica. This will then continue over to here in a nice flat area. And I've left room for me to potentially make this a looping line. Have I? Yeah, I have. Right, so there's the potential loop here. So that potential exists for me to be able to loop this line, making it more efficient as trains loop around. Now, a single silica quarry takes 16 seconds to produce 2 silica. 2 silica is not enough to feed this thing properly, but that's fine. Now, what else do we got? We don't have energy on this map, so we're not going to be able to boost the production of our water pumps. We're going to have to just build more and more and more and more and more. Okay, so I think we'll start with a silica quarry tucked back right here. These need waste to be boosted, so that's fine. I think we'll start off with 2 silica quarries. That should be a good starting amount. Now, since these double produce, we're probably going to want a double station and an 8-long train. I think that just makes sense to me, whereas we don't need that for the water. Concrete is produced at a normal rate, so we'll just do single stations here. Single station there. We do need to get water into this concrete yard. A single one of these produces 1 water every 16 seconds. These produce 2 concrete every 16 seconds, or 2 silica, right? 2 silica every 16 seconds, which means we need 2 water pumps to match the production of those 2. And I think 2 water pumps is what we'll do here. And as long as we are, in theory, getting all of the goods to the station, we are good to go. That should be enough concrete and enough water for now. Eventually, I will probably pull in this water, depending on, yeah, I could get up in here and join this, so definitely viable. We could figure that out later. I'll do double stations because we're attaching 2 production lines to it, right? So I've got the concrete going. Now I need to bring water to the city, and the city's going to need a lot of water, like a lot of water. The more water I can get there, the better, and I could store 16 at a time. So how many water pumps can I optimally get out of this? I can get one there. Here's 2 water pumps. I can get 6 water pumps here. I could get 7, but I think 6 is honestly enough. Now, where do I want my station to be where it'll hit all of them? Well, so the station tile has to be here. I think this is the station tile. So that's going to go like so. And we'll come out of this. I don't want to go up near the station. I want there to be a bit of room. Now, my plan is to make a lot of money from delivering this water. So I'm going to have a loop right from the get-go. Let's go with this station right here. We'll start with 2. And we'll start with 2 over here just for now. And now we need to think about the type of train we want. So I could go boiler custom 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, which hits my rating, gets me the acceleration of this and the speed of this. Interesting. If I add an extra boiler, we go up to 56 max kph. Let's say in theory, right? If I make a boiler engine, right? This is the maximum a boiler engine can pull at 30 kilometers per hour at 2 kilometers per hour per second. Acceleration. If I add a workhorse here, I can add another 4, and this hits the rated weight, and we go up to a 38 per hour top speed with 3 kilometers per hour per second and a better climb rate. Although there's not much up and down here, so we don't need actual climb rate. So this might be a good compromise machine, right? Or we could go double workhorse and go to 8. and be slightly faster. Or, man, there's so many potential ways we could do this. Like a workhorse at a custom and go up to 6. That way we've got really good acceleration, really good top speed, and a decent rated weight. We could do one of each and go up to 11 cars, potentially 12 if we wanted to, right? Takes about 10 seconds to get up to speed. I like the idea of the 11 car train. I think I'm going to go up to 12. It is ever so slightly slower. God, it's like 10% slower is the thing. I like the idea of using all 3 of these together to make a super train that has really good weight, decent, it's like super balanced between all the options here. I think that's a super good compromise. Now, I do want to build a water pump here if I can sneak it in, if I can get the station over there. So we should see pretty good profits from this train, and we're just mostly going to wait until this train is profitable, and we'll build a second one to get all this water into the city as fast as possible. Is it going to make like insane money? Not for a while, but it does mean the city is now growing. You know, if I added another one of these boiler engines, I could add 5 more and go up to 16 water, which would basically fill this town, which feels kind of hilarious to me. Because now this is a 44-kilometer-hour train that goes 4 kilometers per second acceleration. So it is a super, super high-speed pulling train that gets crazy good throughput. I also want to build a second one. There we go. Water's coming in. I think I will start with a cheap boiler over here, or maybe a workhorse and a water. It doesn't need to accelerate that fast. Maybe the custom boiler combo with 7 water is like the play. Takes 3 seconds to turn around, which doesn't feel that fast. This will start making me more income, which is really nice. I do love that this train basically fills the city. Let's start moving silica now. We need to move like 16 silica at a time. Well, we need to move 8 at a time at least. The best way to get to 8 is 2 workhorses, honestly. What if I did a workhorse plus 2 customs? It's a very, very, very fast train, really good acceleration. Expensive, but it's fast. It also has a terrible turnaround time, so we're gonna need to maybe modify that. Yeah, that turnaround time is rough. But at least we will start getting concrete soon. And it's good income too. And honestly, this is just about on time for when we want concrete to be coming. Also, although concrete is quite cheap, you do not get a lot of money for delivering concrete. So in an ideal world, we don't want this train turning around. So I am gonna build 3 loops. This way the train doesn't have to turn around. It's a little bit more efficient not having to turn around. The city has hit level 2, which is exciting. So now it actually needs concrete. Concrete is gonna be the thing, the thing that holds us back, really. And now the thing that holds us back is silica. So we just need to shit silica in the direction of this thing, which is gonna require some modifications to not only the train line, but actually the trains themselves. I do like the speed of this train, and especially it's got really good climbing, right? So it's going up a single incline, loses a little bit of speed, but not much. I'm gonna double the station to speed up how long the train sits still for. I don't like that it's spending too much time here. We're still way overproducing water here. Uptime is not quite 100%. Could modify this train. The city can only store 16 though. Silica is the big thing that we need to get going, which means cloning this train when we have the money, because that will double the throughput. The uptime on these is quite low, so we want to definitely get them up a little higher. And I think cloning the train is going to be one of the ways we get that. Nice and fast train. The acceleration is big. You want trains that accelerate and get to a nice high speed. Gets them going, especially if you're going to have a really saturated network where trains are starting and stopping and stuff like that. We definitely want to go to a 3rd train here too. Uptime on the concrete yard is heading up to 50%. We definitely want that higher. Growth is happening slowly. Boom, there's a 3rd train for the silica line, which should get us closer to 100% uptime. Won't quite get us there, but the goal is to get this concrete yard up to 100% uptime and to make sure then it's about getting the concrete out of the concrete yard into the city. All right, very nice. Ooh, okay, we're underproducing silica now. We have 2 choices. We can upgrade it, but I think you always want, if you have the option to build more silica mines and stuff like that, build more. That, in my opinion, always makes more sense than to upgrade buildings. Just waiting for the cash. There we go. So now we're producing 4 silica every 16 seconds, which is a decent amount, which might get me up to where my trains will actually be full, because right now they're not quite full. Uptime on the concrete yard is up to 62%. I'm wondering if I could go up to 24. What if I added another workhorse and a custom engine and another 8 Waters. I need 1,000 money, so I'm just waiting. I'll finish this train in a moment. Okay, I think I can do it now. Boom, 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 boom. So this is going to be an even bigger giga train, but it still accelerates super fast. And then I think the next thing to do is to add 2 more stations to both ends so that it loads and unloads 50% faster. And then this train becomes like a super money maker. Look at that speed. The goal here is to get the uptime higher on these water pumps. Uptime on the concrete factory is nice now. Our issue seems to be, I do like how easy it is to redesign your whole rail network in this game. Uptime seems to be the train itself. So we're going to add this. Oh, I don't have the money for that. So I'll just make this a 6-long train with the assistance of a custom engine to give it that little bit of extra acceleration to get it to and from the stations a little quicker. Oh yeah, this giga train is doing the work now. I'm loving to see this. 100% uptime on the silica quarry so far. It doesn't look like there's any empty trains. Let's double the size of these stations and then we'll double the size of this train. Boom, boom. So it's going to be a double length train, nice and fast, distributed power, really good climb speed. Only takes 3 seconds to get filled. Now we might not be getting enough water to the concrete yard, which I'm okay with. We are almost at our population goal already with 10 minutes to go on this mission, which feels pretty damn good. And I really like, I feel like this setup is pretty efficient and elegant, if I do say so myself. Let's get you in there. Double station, double station. We will make a train that wants to pull 8. So I'll just do double workhorse with 8 cars on it. It's a pretty balanced guy. It's got okay acceleration. I could do double custom, but I don't need the water as bad as I need the silica to get there. That's why I went with that kind of faster train, and it's got longer to go, so the acceleration matters more, right? Whereas this one, we want a little bit of pulling capacity. 11 more population and we hit our goal. Big concrete train coming in, as is the big water train. Water seems to be the actual bottleneck here now, which is fine. We deliver a hell of a lot of water with this train though. I'm going to deposit some money in the bank because I don't need to spend anything. I'm really just waiting at this point. So I may as well make an extra little bit of interest money. I am kind of interested in the idea of what if you like deposited all your money at the start of the round and then tried to win based off what you had left. It's kind of an interesting idea of like, when do you bank? When do you withdraw? I'm being super honest though. This game is omega addictive and I want to keep playing it. I'm loving it. If the response to this video, and honestly, hey, editor, listen up. If the response to this video is really good, I will do another video playing this game because I fucking love it. Okay. Thank you guys for watching. I love you all very much, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.